Mulder, what do you think it is?
A couple of months ago, a case came across my desk from the Mississippi office. 4 women from Aberdeen had disappeared in less than a month.
Disappeared?
Only one of the victims was found, but her body was too decomposed to perform a viable autopsy.
Mulder, what we just saw was not decomposition.
I know. That's why I want you to find out what this is while you're at the coroner's office.
What about you? Where are you going?
To try to find out if Lauren McElvey was a lonely heart. Each of the Aberdeen victims had answered personal ads in the local papers. This is the same killer. He's just getting started.
Don't be too shy, Checks. We're here to talk about the X-Files.
Oh, you've been waiting for that one, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Anyway, I'm Luke, if you haven't already guessed. And sat opposite me is the man
of the hour?
formerly known as Checks.
No, I'm still known as Checks.
Formerly and currently known
Oh,
as
there
Checks.
you go, that's better.
You didn't let me finish.
Do you want to introduce what the podcast's called?
This is Most Unwanted. You saw the title. Come on, guys.
You downloaded this.
Yeah. You're listening to?
Well,
this isn't Stone Cold's
we don't
Review
need to
Mania.
describe this for you every week. We can't. Week in, week out. This is. I love your intros. They're just fast and loose. Now I like it. So what I wanted to talk to you about was.
Okay.
Do you ever? Because I know you've got a 1-syllable name, Luke.
Yes.
Do you ever wish that you had a slightly longer name? So that you could have like a nickname.
There's sometimes where I think, it'd be cool to have a nickname, but then also, it takes away the problems that a nickname might bring up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, because you could always
be a cruel nickname.
Yeah, because I know some people. I mean, our area is like known for just like. It sounds really bad saying this. The Black Country is like very mocking. You know what I mean? Like to each other.
It is.
So you don't tend to take offence to stuff. But, like, I know, like, my dad's, like, mates have got, like, nicknames like Honky and shit, stuff like that. And he's like, where did he get that name from? But, like, they've just got, like, weird nicknames. And I just think, maybe Luke's okay. It's just
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, your brother has got, like, a 1-syllable name as well.
Yeah.
But he's got Dino.
Yeah.
He's got a nickname, hasn't he? I quite like my nickname. I've always liked having a nickname, and like it's weird because like I've got like 2 names. So, like to family and to colleagues to a certain extent, I'm Dan. But like if any one of my friends call me Dan, it feels so weird.
It feels like we're telling you off.
Yeah. Like I'm Checks. Like I'm Checks to you guys, and I'm Checks to the podcast world as well.
It's weird, like when I'm talking to your family because I describe you as Checks, and they must look at like. We're all Checks.
You know what? I don't think any of them sort of took that name. It's sort of. I remember my brother tried, and I was like, I nipped that in the bud right away. I was like, no, I'm Checks.
Like Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah, basically, I was like, no, I'm Checks. You're not having that. I actually kind of like the fact that I've got a nickname. It's cool.
Okay.
We did actually. I wonder, like, I remember right at the start, we wondered whether to use Dan or Checks. And I think the process was, well, you would constantly call me Checks anyway.
Yeah.
So it would make it difficult because we'd have to constantly try and correct ourselves. And also, I remember you sent me, like, the description to the podcast, what we're going to put down, and you just went ahead and put Luke and Checks. Yeah. And I just thought... There's no point in correcting. We might as well just run with it. Yeah.
Weren't we going to call it Checks Files at one point?
It was considered. It was considered.
But that might have been a bit of a power trip.
my ego would have taken a huge boost from that. So anyway, on this week of the X Files,
it's not. Can't just say it's not going to happen. I have the editing power. Talking of power trips. And he's quite good at it. I'm kind of like a god with editing.
The editing
I can make things appear and disappear at my will.
Are you going to make things appear and disappear now?
Well, we shall see. And
the great thing about this is, when you come to edit it, you've got free license.
You can do whatever you want.
No one knows.
Do what I want. So this could get real experimental.
Yeah.
This last 5 seconds could have just been mental.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, we might have to put
The best
an
thing,
apology.
The best thing is though, if I didn't do anything, just left it as is. That would be my favourite outcome.
Just 5 seconds of silence.
It's very easy to do. But yeah, I mean, yeah, talking of nicknames now, what I'm trying to think of what my nickname would be.
Costin doesn't lend itself to a nickname either.
No, I'm sort of knackered in both names, to be honest.
Yeah, what's your middle name?
Alan.
Alan.
Yeah.
Al. Yeah.
Al's not right.
Al. Weird Al.
Weird Al?
Yeah.
No, I don't really...
You're not going to go for that one?
That's, yeah.
Oh, you know what we should do?
Yeah.
Listeners, we need you to come up with a nickname for Luke.
I get the feeling the listeners don't like me though, so this could be a this could be a disaster.
I mean, I'm sure the listeners like you.
So my self-esteem issues coming through now.
It's always Luke no hashtags.
Luke's wrong again. But yeah, I mean, yeah, carry on. Give me a nickname if you want. I might ignore it. Who knows?
I won't. I'll call him it every day.
And there we go. I mean, is there anything else that's happened this week or going to happen this week? We might as well just, unless you've got anything special that's happening to you upcoming that you think is worth.
Well, we are going suit shopping this weekend.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
So we're. For those who don't know, I'm getting married in exactly 102 days. Well, from time of recording, and yeah, Luke or Lucinius, as I like to call them.
That's not. That tends to be what happens with my nickname. People will just give me like Roman sounding names,
Yeah.
Which actually, this is an interesting story from my childhood. This was when we were in secondary school. The year 11s, we were in year 9 at the time, would walk past me and call me Roman. I was like, Roman? I was like, my name's like Luke. Maybe they've heard of a Roman leader called Lucas or something.
Is it because you look like a Roman?
Well, as I found out as we were studying the Romans later on, this must have been a lot later on because this was like, they were doing it in year 11. I think we picked it up. So 2 years later. I found out it's because apparently the description of a Roman person was to have a big nose. And I was like, they were calling me Big Nose? I was like, that's what they were doing. I was like, to be fair, quite an educated insult. I'll give them credit for that.
Okay. Well, so, sorry to go back to the listeners who aren't aware. Roman is my best man.
Roman Keating.
That's Roman? Roman's your new nickname? That's perfect.
Roman. I don't know.
So Roman's my best man.
Roman.
And yeah, we're going suit shopping Saturday.
Yeah.
We literally have no idea what we're doing.
Toga shopping, me.
Toga shopping, yeah. You'll rock up in a toga. Yeah, that's about it though. We're going to go try all the fancy clothes on. I'm thinking I want it to be a bit like Pretty Woman. Just like, I want you to lavish me with gifts and, spend out on me. Treat me real good.
Wasn't you a prostitute?
No.
I'm not doing that. Not for money. Not for money. And
you got to treat me.
Not for money.
What?
That's not the way. That's not the way I roll. It's my wedding day. You've got to treat me. Somebody's used that line before. But I mean, that is what we're doing this weekend. I don't think there's anything else going on. Nothing else going on.
No.
Do you know what? Surprisingly, July has been quite a quiet month, which is good. Because August is not.
No, yeah.
August
to be honest, I'm just trying to save for the stag do.
Yeah.
I'm like just desperately trying to save.
Yeah. We're going to Amsterdam again. We're just splurging all of our information about ourselves. Yeah. If you're a hitman and you wanted to do us,
we'll be in Amsterdam on these dates.
We're going to Amsterdam for your stag do, which I think it's like how many times have we been now? I think you've been 5.
I've been 5 times. This will be my 6th.
Yeah, I've been
absolutely
4,
love that city. It is just the most beautiful city in the world. I love it. I love the people. I love the architecture. Oh, I love it. Love it so
So
much.
laid back there, I was finding.
Yeah,
It's like the
I
perfect
think
mentality.
the atmosphere in general, it's just a real... It's the whole atmosphere is like, we'll just accept you no matter what. Do you know what I mean? Like, whoever you are, you're welcome in the city, and I love that.
I think it's got its cliches and stuff of what people think that the city's like.
Yeah, people think it's seedy. People think it... I thought like that before I went, and I think those preconceptions are just taken away completely when you visit.
It really...
It's got that side of it.
Yeah.
But, like, even that side of it, like... One of our favourite bars in Amsterdam is right on the red light district.
Yeah.
And it's so normalised that it doesn't even feel seedy when you go down there.
It's just a bar.
No one really bats an eyelid.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, you're sort of taken aback by it, like, the first time you go, and it does shock you at first.
Yeah.
But after a while, you just sort of ignore it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you just carry on walking to your hotel and stuff like that. So, it's just normal, But
that's what we're saving for. So that's why we have no stories for the next month or two.
And then we'll have, hopefully, plenty of stories.
Plenty of stories.
Plenty of stories.
Content. That's the only reason why I'm doing a stag do. Content.
Yeah. We'll piecemeal that content for the next month. But anyway, as we've rattled on for 10 minutes, we should probably talk about this episode.
Let's do it, Roman.
I should have said before we started as well, this is episode 62 of Most of the Month.
We do that after the little transition anyway, don't we? Like, sort of...
No, I'm doing it now.
Oh. I'm kind of glad I didn't interrupt.
I'm going to leave that in, don't matter. And we're covering episode 6, entitled Too Shy. It was directed by David Nutter, returning. Written by Jeff Vlamming.
Okay.
The original air date was November the 3rd, 1995. I'm pretty sure Jeff Vlamming, this is his first episode.
I don't recognise the name, so yeah.
And we'll just jump straight into it. So the first scene we see, we're in Cleveland, and we see a couple who are flirting in a car.
Yeah.
It's at night. And we find that they've met over the internet.
Yeah.
We find that the man is called Virgil Incanto. And he's a very charismatic and good-looking guy.
Yeah, he is.
He seems sweet and innocent, and he's
very cheesy.
Very cheesy. And his date, they make a point, is slightly overweight. I don't think she's like for today's standards. I don't think
they
like
throughout this episode they're trying to make this point, and like I suppose it's important, but they keep on mentioning like these girls' weights. It's a little bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. But anyway, they make a point of
they
this.
do make a point of mentioning it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're sort of like surprised that a guy like him is going on dates.
That's what she says, isn't it? That like she's basically confused that. Well, not confused. What's the word when you've got low self-esteem?
Yeah, basically. We find out that they've been talking for 3 months, and she notices that he's got some dry skin on his neck, but sort of just ignores that.
All the way through this, it's just like the most cheesy conversation you've ever heard. It's proper, like almost cringy a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's like, ugh.
So you know something bad's going to definitely happen in the next 5 minutes.
Well, you knew as soon as you saw this guy, he was the bad guy.
Probably bad news. The woman's called Lauren, by the way. Just so we. Don't really need with a name like going forward, I suppose.
No,
definitely not after the next 2 seconds. And then they start to kiss, at which point something goes wrong because he basically spits this goo into her mouth.
Yeah. Well, while they're like the lips are locked, you sort of see her eyes open wide, and then as he pulls away, like she's just got like this. I don't know, like
gel, like
like that's probably the best way to describe it, like a gel.
And we see him basically pounce on her. We see this struggle as it starts like zooming out from the top.
Yeah, and like the car's rocking as if like when the car's rocking, don't come knocking. That sort of.
A woman's died. Take it serious.
Yeah, good points. Good points.
We then cut to the next morning, and we see that this is the part that threw me. They're at a warehouse. Now, I don't know if they imply that he drove there afterwards to leave the car there.
Yeah.
Or if they met there. To which, if they met there, is she mental? Like, why would she go... I've got a romantic place for us. It's out by the dock. Anyway, a police officer finds Lauren's body and it's covered in this gooey substance. We notice that the necklace is there to identify her.
Yeah.
And then we go into the opening credits.
Yeah. Interesting start. Classic monster of the week by the looks of it. I didn't really know what was going on per se. But yeah, it was a bit weird. It reminded me a little bit of Squeeze.
Yeah.
In the same sort of
entire episode, basically, it was
that
episode. Yeah, it was that episode with a different monster, I guess.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And just definitely not quite as effective as Tombs was.
Yeah, I feel like it followed that formula too much.
Yeah.
So it felt it can't be any better than Squeeze was because it was too similar. If you know what I mean?
It didn't do anything original, really, did it? Apart from maybe like his powers, if you call them that, or his sort of abilities
were different. Yeah.
But yeah, interesting start.
Yeah. The next day we see Mulder and Scully are called in to investigate this at the warehouse. There's forensics going on. They say that the woman's called Lauren McAlvey. We see that the body is basically been melted. Even the bones have turned to goo, and they've no idea on the cause of death. Basically,
yeah.
The victim's description, Mulder states, is very similar to those of other victims of what they call a lonely hearts killer who's still at large.
Yeah, but the thing was they couldn't do autopsies on those last killers because it literally was just like liquid left.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and there was no bodies left.
Basically,
over. Yeah. I think with this body, there's still certain parts intact, until later that we find that when they go into the sort of the morgue.
Mulder notes that the killings are basically moving across the country, so he's travelling. He or her, I guess, it's travelling. And we know it's a he. Don't know why I brought that up.
No, but Mulder doesn't
Yeah.
per se. But I suppose you'd assume, considering it's mostly women replying to the ads.
And Scully collects a sample to analyse. We then see Encanto in his apartment. We see him typing at a computer, and he's talking to a woman who we find out on the other side is called Ellen Kaminsky. She seems nervous that when they meet, he'll reject her. Again, got these insecurities in her body, basically. And Encanto is interrupted by his landlord, Monica. And she assumes that he's a writer. She says she knows what he does, which sort of throws him at first. But yeah, she basically says that she thinks he's a writer, and she's clearly got the hots for him.
Yeah, she's all over him. I actually really like this character.
Yeah.
I don't know, she just came across as really sweet, and like even the fact that he obviously has got no interest in her whatsoever, because I'm guessing because she's quite skinny.
I think that's the implication.
So he's not interested.
He's basing on how much like adipose, as we find out later,
he can
get from the body. So yeah.
So he's not interested in the slightest, and he's actually quite rude to her most of the time, and she's just oblivious to it.
Yeah. He ignores her pretty much, and carries on chatting to Elaine. We cut to the autopsy, and we've met at this point the detective Cross. We spoke to him earlier, but he is talking to Scully at this point, and to be honest, he seems a little sexist towards Scully.
Throughout this episode.
Yeah. Not sexist, but... Well, I guess it is sexist, really.
Yeah, I thought he was majorly sexist throughout. Yeah. Like there was a few things where it seemed to me like it was going to be a major story point at the start, and then it never really ended up being. But then there was points in the episode where Scully would sort of say, "Do you mind if I do this?" And he would give her a look before agreeing to it. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, hang about, again, it was following on from the last episode. They seem to sort of keep on putting that in, and I don't know, maybe it's an overarching storyline, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I guess it's more of that pushing that in 95. It's interesting to see a prominent female character in this kind of program, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
but there is that I mean, there is that undertone throughout this guy, and I didn't like this guy.
No.
Can I just go back just before, and again, we'll touch upon it in later scenes as well, but with the online dating, I think I'd have liked this episode more if I watched it 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I feel like one of the big challenges they was trying to sort of address was online safety, and like whether you should meet people that you meet online, etc., etc., etc. And it was just, it felt like they was trying to tell us that the internet is a very dangerous place, and it just felt like, looking at it now, it was like, yeah, like, and you know what I mean? Like, it's such common knowledge now.
Yeah, it's an old-fashioned mentality, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It comes across as very old-fashioned. Yeah. Like, this show, I find, I don't know about if it's the same for you, I don't find it aged itself that bad.
No.
Apart from like the obvious, where you'll have like computer programs and stuff like that, where it obviously does. But this episode felt old.
Yeah.
Because of the way it was like the internet was this big scary thing and not something that we use every day on phones. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt like this massive issue, and it didn't seem out of place.
I think the internet didn't lose that stigma until like the early to like mid 2000s anyway.
Yeah.
Because even in the UK there was like all this like scare about who your kids talking to online.
Yeah.
I mean, it still goes on today. You
Of
still
course,
hear about it,
but it's so normalised now. Yeah. It's exactly the same as stranger danger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no one talks about it like this.
Yeah.
Like, people keep their locations on the phone. You can go on to, like, is it Snapchat that shows you exactly where people are?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not a thing anymore. And so, I just wanted to point this out right now that even like the ominous music when the emails come in, it just felt silly. Sometimes, and I'm not blaming the episode for it, because I just think it's the first episode that I can remember that actually just feels like it's
a bit old. I think most TV shows where of this like period and stuff, like whenever they tackle like computers and stuff, the shining example for, man, this feels like it feels its age. Buffy. There's an episode in series 1 that's about a demon that attaches itself to an email.
That's an original idea.
Yeah.
A virus by any chance?
yeah, basically, and it's so laughably like. You should have done a bit more research on like computers and stuff. It's like, it's really cringy watching it. But anyway, I feel like stuff in the 90s did sort of. It has this thing of just using a computer as like a sort of magic device and stuff like that. And anyway, we've spoken about this as well in the past. When they do stuff with computers.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always think computers and 90s shows tend to not mix.
Yeah, I know you.
But anyway, it's not too.
No, again, I don't blame the episode. I can see past it, because at the end of the day, it's not their fault. I waited 25 years to watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait, what? Why did you not watch it then? When you were 4 years old? Anyway, so talking of old-fashioned ideas, Cross has been a bit sexist.
Yeah.
Sort of saying that he doesn't expect Scully to be able to contain her prejudices against the killer.
Yeah, a womanly prejudice.
Yeah, basically. Scully assures him that she just wants to find the killer. She goes to attempt an autopsy on Lauren's body. I was thinking, we're going to get a Scully autopsy. It's been a while since we've had one of these, like doing the recording and everything. She pulls out the slab, and we just see goo everywhere, and we just see that basically there's a skeleton remaining there now. Yeah. So there's
not even just like the ribs and skull.
Yeah, because the legs have gone as well.
Yeah, they've melted too. Bones melted.
Crazy.
I know.
Crazy. We see Mulder talking to the roommate of Lauren, and he learns that Lauren met this man in a chat room. Apparently he seemed so nice. And this chat room was called Big and Beautiful. Again, getting the weight thing.
Yeah.
she says that it wasn't about sex, and she also mentions that his name was Too Shy. So
there we go. There's the episode title.
We go. Ding. I feel like I need to put a ding anytime. We'll see. We'll see how much time I have to edit this. He said that she said that he knew exactly what to say, and he had a way with words. He has a copy of all of his letters. I don't know why.
Yeah, I got the impression that she'd fallen in love with him as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, I feel like he's just got one of these sort of, as you say, personalities where he's like charismatic and he's just got a way, because it just felt like didn't feel like she was like, well, no, she doesn't have a copy, but I printed off these copies. It's like, it sounded like she was in love with him too, even though she'd never spoken to him.
Could very well be, I guess.
Yeah.
Every woman who seems to speak to him seems to like him, really, I guess. So.
Impervious to his charm. No, not impervious, the opposite of impervious to his charm.
Pervious.
Pervious. They're all pervious. All these pervious people.
I don't know if pervious is a word, but I'm going to go with it.
We'll go with it,
Mulder researches into his online accounts and find out that one of the accounts he set up using a credit card from one of the previous victims. Rookie error.
Yeah.
Rookie error.
So now we know that he's moved from the tabloids to online dating.
Yes. Yeah. Because before it was just like Lonely Heart ad columns.
Newspaper, yeah.
We go back to the autopsy scene, and Scully is showing Mulder that basically the bones are now squishy.
Yeah.
She mentioned.
I thought it was quite a hard scene to watch. That. I don't know why. Just something about squeezing a bone just really made me go, oh.
Scully basically finds out that there's a substance coating this body, and it's basically a concentrated digestive enzyme similar to stomach acid. Mulder asks if anything is missing from the body's cellular breakdown, to which she says that it's missing body fat or adipose.
Yeah.
Which, this is the first time I've heard it since that Doctor Who episode where the little balls of fat, come alive.
Is that what they were? I can't remember.
Yeah, they're called adipose, aren't they?
Oh, you know what? I honestly can't remember.
It's the first one with Catherine Tate in.
I remember. I kind of remember the sort of all of them jumping out of a window or something like that.
I remember watching that episode and thinking, I don't know if I want to keep watching that anymore. That was one of the...
I seem to remember Catherine Tate doing an alright job.
She was okay in some of the episodes. It was that episode was just really this is not a good episode to come back into.
You know what? Off on a tangent. I've heard the new Doctor Who's really good.
The one with Jodie Whittaker. Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Yeah,
I heard the last series was good. It's just
I
just haven't got time to
I feel like I really just fell off it.
Yeah,
I remember I've got such good memories of watching David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston, and I've tried to watch episodes back and.
They're not as good, are they?
No, I don't enjoy them at all.
I've done that because I saw it. I've seen it on whatever channel it's on, one of the replay channels.
You just catch it on. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I remember this episode. It's this kind of.
Is it a lot more childish than you remember?
Way more childish.
Maybe it was because we was kids when we were watching it.
Yeah. When I watched it, I was like, this is really immature. I don't know. I felt the same watching. Don't get me wrong. There's some good episodes where I feel there's one.
I remember a standout episode for me.
Which one was that?
And it was with Matt Smith, and it had I think her name is Saran Jones, and she played the TARDIS.
Oh yeah.
And I remember that one being fantastic. I think Neil Gaiman wrote that one. I think he was a guest writer. But I remember that one being absolutely fantastic, and I don't remember what for. That's as bad as that sounds.
I had another Doctor Who reference in this one as well. There's a part later on where he mentions that his skin condition is a special eczema, and it reminded me of the Peter Kay episode where he's the absorber loft.
Yeah.
And he says that it is eczema or something like that. That's that. I went on a Doctor Who rabbit hole and I was reading about stuff and I was like, oh, maybe this was good. And then, I just remembered when I've rewatched stuff. Yeah. Nah, it's kind of shit.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's shit.
No, it's not shit. It's not shit. It's not shit.
I don't know.
It's not as good as I thought it was back then.
Yeah.
Again, there's some standout episodes. I really like the ones with... I think the first one with the angel thing. Just
yeah.
that was pretty good.
The Weeping Angels.
Yeah. Like, it has good ideas.
Yeah.
But then the execution of the ideas is, it's a lot more, like, zany. You know?
Yeah.
Ooh. And it's just running around.
Yeah.
I feel a lot running around.
That's why I feel like Matt Smith was my favourite Doctor, just because it had the new writer and it was just seemed a little bit more serious. I don't know. This isn't a Doctor Who podcast.
I feel like we enjoyed it at that period, then stop watching it, and let's just leave it in the past.
Well,
You know, enjoy the memories.
Yeah, enjoy the memories of it. Perfect. I'm happy to go with that.
Yeah.
We never have to rewatch it again.
And we'll never talk about it again, apart from in 5 seconds when I talk about the extreme and how I'm going to leave that. Leave that in the past. Anyway, we then see Ellen in her apartment, and she's talking to her friend Kerry, or her roommate, and the FBI sent her a warning, and Ellen's roommate basically talks her out of seeing Encanto.
Yeah.
And this is the part where I sort of thought it was quite forced. How they were like, "Are you sure you know what he's really like?"
Yeah, exactly.
Met online.
And the thing is, as well, it came across a bit cheesy as well, because it just reminded me of, like, those old sort of, like those infomercials that you get shown at, like, school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like, wasn't it? It was like that. It was the same sort of acting.
Yeah.
It was like trying to point out to you how bad it is without, like, it's like the characters wasn't aware of themselves in the present. It was like they was talking to the camera.
Yeah.
It was weird.
She had quite Ellen had an accent. She sounded like one of the characters from Grease. I can't remember who. Is it Rizzo? No.
Could be Rizzo.
I'm not sure.
I didn't pick up on it though.
She had like a slight accent, but she sounded like a character from Grease. I'll keep it nice and vague.
Nice and vague.
You can.
Which character are you thinking of?
Danny.
Short hair. Danny.
She's got like a high pitched voice.
You're thinking of Frenchie.
Frenchie, yeah, she reminded me of Frenchie a bit. It's not as strong,
Yeah.
but it's like a subtle Frenchie.
Yeah.
There you go. Anyway, I don't know if that's like a certain dialect or if it's just how she spoke.
I don't know where Grease is set. No, I mean, we know what our track record is with American accents.
Yeah, with Texas.
Yeah, it is. Grease is set in Texas.
If there's one place I could think that Greece is not set.
It is. It's Texas.
Texas.
What are you on about? It's set in Texas.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I guess.
I was going to make a joke about Texas, and I don't know whether the joke... You know when you don't know whether it's offensive?
Give it a go and we'll see.
It wasn't a funny joke in particular. I was going to try and fit, like, yeehaw into a song. Is that offensive? Do people in Texas say yeehaw? This is the problem. We're misinformed.
The guy who came to Croatia was from Texas and he never once said yeehaw.
Did he not?
No. But anyway, we see Encanto at the restaurant that we're meant to be meeting, and he's been stood up.
Yeah.
He's got flowers.
Really angry about it as well.
Yeah. He's got flowers and everything. Storms off.
And what's the one thing you do when you get stood up?
Go to a prostitute.
You go to a prostitute.
Go to a prostitute.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Straight away.
Everyone knows that. That's stood up 101.
I've noticed that X-Files has a prostitute ratio quite high. I don't know if that's just in general with crime shows, but there seems to be a lot of like murdered prostitutes.
Yeah, it's a thing, isn't it? I find it weird that everyone... Is this weird? Maybe it's just me and my sheltered life, right?
Innocent.
Yeah, like, okay, so...
Yeah.
Because I've been in a relationship. I mean, not saying that I would even if I wasn't in a relationship, but I've been in a relationship since I was 16, right? So if I was single and I was that way inclined, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna go with a prostitute, I wouldn't have the first clue where to go. Like, where do you look for that sort of stuff? And in shows, it always seems to be there's one area, and it's so busy, everyone knows exactly where to find prostitutes.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, mate, is it?
I have seen prostitutes, like, just... This happened while I was in the taxi on the way home from recording the ones. And we went down a row of, like, streets where there was, like, girls standing on corners, like, every now and again. And I was like... I instantly, in my head, like, knowing, like, all the cliches you see on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this is, like...
Yeah, do you think he was in The Wire? Like, you like looking out solemnly out the window.
This town. Yeah. I became a noir detective in that moment. Lit a fag. The taxi driver was like,
kicked you out.
Yeah, can you put that out, sir? Okay. But yeah, it's I don't know. Like, I don't know what you. Again, I also have no knowledge of these things, but I guess somebody does, and then it must be one of those things that must be like a word of mouth thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're in that white circle.
Yeah, I guess it's that kind of like stuff must be like, because you always hear about somebody who go, oh,
it's in all the TV shows. Yeah, it must be based on something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway,
but
yeah, he goes. There's a prostitute party going on under a bridge.
Is that what you call it?
That's what he calls it. Yeah. You know how like you've got like a murder of crows.
Yeah,
it's a party of prostitutes.
Party of prostitutes.
If it's more than two, it's a party.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. We've all learned something today. The pluralization of prostitutes.
Yeah, it's more than two though.
More than two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two's company, three's a party. That's why their famous
phrase. That famous phrase. Anyway.
We've gone way too long on prostitutes.
Yeah. Don't say that. Jesus Christ. Our squeaky clean reputation straight out the window.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll have to turn our 18 rater on after this episode.
Yeah. Don't swear, whatever you do.
He's waiting for me to swear.
We both had the urge then, do we?
I'm not taking that bait.
Rising to it. Anyway, we see these prostitutes and he goes down the row and notices again the slightly overweight one.
Yeah.
And
no interest in any of the others. It's not like he's choosing it's literally he goes straight for who he considers to be overweight.
Yeah. Now at this point I thought, he's gonna book a motel or something like that. The others were pulling up in cars. I was like, he doesn't have a car, but maybe he'll go to his apartment. No, apparently they just do it in the alley. I'm like, what? I've never heard of this before. But,
no, that's what happens.
But yeah, so she gets attacked. She claws at him and just pulls his skin off.
Yeah, it's like hanging from her nails. It's disgusting.
Yeah. But anyway, he attacks her. We see later on in the night another prostitute and a man also going into the alley. So this must be a common thing, I guess.
She calls it cozy.
Not what I would call it. Cold.
Cold. But no, she says it's nice and cozy and private.
Okay. Next to the bins.
I mean, if anything, it's neither of those things. It's not private. It's not cozy.
And it's probably going to stink.
Yeah.
It's an alley.
I know. Ugh.
Not the place for lovemaking.
Don't think they're there for lovemaking, if I'm honest.
No, I suppose not. We see quite a disturbing scene as they walk over. They see him basically over the top of a feed-in, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's not able to do the full job, I guess, and fully dissolve the body, so to speak.
Yeah.
He can't fully dissolve the body and just gets up and flees. The next day, we're at the crime scene and we see that this prostitute's called Holly McLean, and apparently her airways were blocked by the same substance that dissolved Lauren.
She died because of that.
Yeah. Cross, the detective, is annoyed.
So before you carry on, special mention to the second guy with the prostitute who took one look at the dead girl and went, "Screw this," and legged it.
Yeah. He knew he was being called in to be a witness, and he was like, "Not a chance. My wife will hit the roof."
Booked it. Yeah. Booked it so quick.
Yeah. What a hero.
Yeah. He knows for all he knows, there's a prostitute killer around, and he's just gone. He doesn't even care.
Away. Yeah. But yeah. So Cross is a bit annoyed with Mulder and Scully that they're keeping details from him. So they basically clue him in on everything that they know.
Yeah.
Mulder thinks that he's starting to improvise, and this doesn't follow his normal pattern. And Scully also notices the skin on her fingernails, so they take a copy of that. Mulder mentions that he's found passages of obscure medieval Italian poetry in these emails to the people who he spoke to before, to Lauren. And then we cut to Encanto's apartment. We see him cutting off the dead skin on his hand and bandaging it up.
Not flinching or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just cutting at his own skin. Yeah, it's weird.
And he gets buzzed that he has a parcel. He goes to pick it up, and he notices a blind girl who's sort of like following the wall. Picks up some cloths, and they basically greet each other.
Tries to sneak past her at first, doesn't he? And then she sort of. I think she smells him.
Yeah, basically.
Which is kind of setting up for what happens later on in the episode.
Monica also comes out and starts flirting with Encanto, which the daughter is embarrassed by. Yeah. Encanto goes to pick up his parcel, and the daughter basically says that he smells gross. Mm-hmm. We come back to the police department, and Mulder has compiled a list of who would have access to these type of texts, because he mentions that they're quite rare. They're not just bog standard Italian poetry. Yeah. They're quite rare pieces, so they can limit down the amount of people who would have access to it. The forensics lab also says that the skin under the victim nail contains no oils or fatty acids, which convinces Mulder into his theory that this killer is sucking the body fat from the victims.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not that far a leap, because we know that this weird sort of substance, we know that the body fat's leaving the body. Literally, there's no refuting that. Like they're lighter when they died than when they left that night.
This is a point again where obviously we know Scully's character is always going to be skeptical of it, but I think after stuff like Tombs, seeing this, it's not really that supernatural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sort of just putting two and two together at this point.
Yeah,
knowing that
exactly.
Knowing that there's weird things out there. Yeah, it doesn't seem crazy. It's not like a ghost is killing things. You know what I mean? Like we've seen last week. Mulder acknowledges that this is a crazy theory. I think this is the first time he ever sort of says that it is a bit silly.
Yeah, he comes out and says, like, he did literally come out and say that I haven't got, it's just a theory, it's not concrete. I've not got any previous on this. It's just what I've come up with at this moment.
Scully explains that scorpions digest creatures outside of the body, but she says she doesn't know any that have the ability to surf the internet with those claws. Then again, they could use a tail, to type.
It'd be really slow though, wouldn't they? Their words per minute would be like terrible.
Yeah, but it's email, so I guess it's not too.
I suppose they could take the time with it, and just ponder it, and then like the claws could use the mouse.
Yeah, and I guess
but you could use the tail.
It would take a while to sort of get beneath the tough exterior of a scorpion to get to the heart of that romantic beast. So.
Is that how it works? You have to get beneath the shell.
Figuratively and literally. It would take a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows?
There you go.
It's not a scorpion.
I wonder whether he's... Is that like... You know how, like, we've got, like, the fireman and the electric man now, and we've got... Like, this
Slime boy.
Well, is he the scorpion? Would that be his supervillain name?
I mean, you'd think he'd have more... like in common with it. All he does is spit goo on things, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but then he does like have like this weird sort of hard skin if he doesn't feed.
I'd want him to have a sting or claws to be Scorpion Boy.
Okay, fair enough.
He can
we'll
be
see
like
what he can do.
He can be Mollusk Man. Or something like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Mulder thinks it's some kind of creature other than a human, and Scully says...
From a dry skin sample, you're concluding what? That he's some kind of a fat-sucking vampire?
Cross comes in and sort of acts a bit sexist again.
Yeah.
At this point...
Never going as far as to sort of openly come out with it. He just, it's the looks and like little comments.
Asking if she's okay to do things.
Yeah.
Sort of in that condescending, is this going to be okay for you?
Yeah.
It's like...
Sort of, mate.
Mate, you don't know what she's been through.
I know, yeah.
You would have cracked like a bloody walnut.
She needs you to go around and just sort of be her advocate.
Hype man, yeah.
Hype man.
The agents and Detective Cross agree to canvass everybody on the list. Mm-hmm. So then we see Encanto. He's reading his book, that he picked up. I did say get the name of the book, but I didn't get the name of the book. From what I can gather, it's an Italian.
It's an Italian poetry book. Yeah,
I don't think it has any bearing on the story.
No.
So, he also receives an email from Kaminsky, basically groveling and asking for another date.
One more chance. Yeah.
We hear a knock at the door, to which we then cut to Scully opening the door, but she's talking to somebody else. So we know it's not Scully at the door.
Yeah.
We then cut back to Encanto's apartment and Cross is inside.
Yeah, we know he's the one in danger.
Yeah. And then Cross notices that Encanto has a bandaged hand.
Yeah, and gives the game away straight away by staring at it. Yeah. Like just shaking with fear.
The shocked face. Yeah. He's meant to be a detective, you know what I mean? We come back to the police department, and Mulder and Scully basically say that they haven't had any luck with this canvassing, and they also note that they can't get in touch with Cross.
Yeah.
Pretty much sealing his fate.
Yeah.
We then cut to the restaurant, and Ellen and Encanto are on a date. Ellen says that she wants to pay and apologises for standing him up.
Yeah, it's another just one of them cheesy conversations again, isn't it? Back and forth where he's just like he's almost like slimy, for the lack of a better word, but like, do you know what I mean? Like he's it's just really cringeworthy sometimes, but like you can tell like he's got the girls swooning over him. Also, as well, like she mentions Ellen does, and you probably think that maybe it's a common thing with the people he's talking to is that they've not been on a date for a while. Yeah, and they've got self-confidence issues. So if there's this guy who's like sweet and innocent, it might come across as cheesy, but it's what they're looking for. They want. Yeah. So we see this skin, like the scabs and stuff under his skin, under his shirt again, and he mentions that it is a type of eczema. Yeah. Which Ellen sort of... Well, Ellen apologises for seeing it. Yeah. That's how, like, desperate she is for sort of companionship. Yeah. Because, like... She doesn't want to offend him. She's worried that she offended him for having eyes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why is it her fault for seeing something? Yeah. I don't know. Ellen agrees to drive Encanto home at the end of the night after he says that... He wants to get the buzz because he doesn't. His car's in the shop. Convenient. Classic line. Yeah. We see back at the apartment, Monica's dropping off another parcel. Gets a lot of parcel, this guy, at his flat. We see Ellen pull up with Encanto. Says that she's not been in this situation in a while. Encanto invites her inside, says... and he's trying to force the situation a little bit, isn't he? A little bit, yeah. He's quite full on with it. We cut back inside and we see Monica noticing some flies in the flat. It's landed on the book that she's bringing in, the parcel, isn't it? Yeah. Well, she couldn't fit it under the door, so she sort of let herself in, which is very rude. Yeah. And anything that happens to her past this point is on her. I mean, a bit harsh. And we see back outside that Encanto has noticed that the lights in his apartment are on. So he quickly retracts his invitation and says it's getting late. He needs to, she should go home, basically. Kaminsky leaves and Encanto now finds Monica in the apartment as she's looking in the shower, and we don't see it, but it's implied that she's discovered Cross's body. You do see Cross's body. Do you actually? Yeah. It's only like a flash. Oh, I might have. But you might have just like looked away just that moment. But like, I probably looked away to type this down. Yeah, that's probably what happened. I do that all the time. But like, the camera like starts on the bath and you see his body in the shower, and it pans up to her face real quick. Oh, okay. So she's reacting to the body of the cop. And she gasps, moves back, and in classic horror film fashion, we see that he's standing right behind her. Yeah. Jessie, her daughter, wanders in. He's stood in the dark, and Jessie asks Encanto if he's seen her mother. She was supposed to be back from a class an hour ago. He denies seeing her, and she looks visibly scared at this point. We don't know why, but we do find out shortly. I'm surprised he didn't kill her, just to be on the safe side, to be honest.
He killed Cross to just cover his tracks, so why not Jesse? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Plot reason, they need a reason to get there, but yeah, if I were him.
Yeah, I know what you
if I were a murderer.
Maybe it's because, like, I don't know, like, maybe he's got, like, a moral code, like, he doesn't kill blind people.
Not children.
I don't know.
Who knows? But anyway, she leaves nearly, and she trips on his case, and he says that he's leaving for New York.
Mm-hmm.
We see back in the police department a lot of calls going on, people running around, and Cross is still missing at this point. But they've got a 911 call from near one of the suspects.
Yeah.
They burst in, guns blazing, and they find the two bodies now in the bath dissolving. And Jessie explains that she smelt her mother's perfume in the apartment, and that's why she called the police.
Yeah, she knew she'd been there.
Yeah. She explains about this suitcase and that he was planning on leaving. And she asks why anyone would do this. Quite innocent. And
poor
sad.
girl.
Yeah. Encanto's disappeared, but he's left his computer there. And they theorise that they might be able to get a list of the women he spoke to and potential other victims from this. They also have a sketch from the composite team of Encanto. Mulder thinks...
Who gave the description of him?
I guess Jesse? Oh, guess not. Maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Good point. I don't know. Maybe another neighbour?
Maybe, I suppose.
Yeah, I didn't think that one through at all. Oh dear, that was silly. Anyway, Mulder believes that he's not leaving. We cut to the tech team looking at his computer. They say that the files are password protected and encrypted, and it says it'll take time to restore them.
Yeah.
Time that they don't have.
Yeah.
Encanto, we now see, has gone to Ellen's condo, and he says he wants to talk about tonight, and she basically implies that he just wanted sex.
Yeah.
And that's all he wanted. And he asks for a second chance, just like he gave her.
Doesn't take a lot to win around, does it?
No.
Again, he's preying on the fact that she's kind of needy.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And it's unfortunately she just sort of caves to him at one point and just lets him in.
Basically, he's just very charming in the way he says stuff.
Well, I mean, I'll sort of put him as ahead a little bit, but like, so when he enters, like they're sort of talking a little bit, and then she goes and sends an email to a friend across the hall saying, "You'll never guess who's here." And it's almost like she's bragging about it. And like 5 minutes ago, she hated his guts, and then she's bragging about him. She's got the man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just again, it's he knows that's the type of woman he's preying on.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. She agrees to let him stay, and she changes the door behind her. Which mistake.
Yeah.
Mistake. They mention that we go back to the police office again, and there's nothing turning up at the airport. Scully says that she can release the sketch to the public. Mulder says he's got a list of all the people he spoke to, and they should contact them with the fit.
Yeah. Send it over via email.
Yeah. Back at Ellen's condo, we see the answer phone go, but she just leaves it. She asks if he wants milk. She's only got non-fat, which must have boiled his blood. She says she wants to go and get changed, and as you mentioned, she goes to a computer and sends an email to a friend saying that Encanto's with her. Back in the FBI office, and this is quite fast-paced, I think, from this scene. Scully is reassuring one of the people that she spoke to that he's not going to harm her. After trying to contact everybody on the list, they find that only 2 are unreachable. One of these is Kaminsky. So they say they're going to check on them personally.
Yeah.
Back at Kaminsky's condo, we see that she is on the computer, and the notification from the FBI pops up saying dangerous individual, and then a facial composite of Encanto.
Yeah.
Encanto sneaks up behind her.
Starts just literally as soon as she sees it.
Starts being incredibly creepy all of a sudden. His like charming facade is gone. all
Yeah,
of a
yeah,
sudden.
exactly, yeah.
She looks terrified, and he notices in the mirror the e-fit
Yeah.
on the computer screen. She asks him to leave, but he just lunges at her.
Yeah.
This is when Mulder and Scully arrive. They kick the door in.
Just in time. I
Just
think
in time.
they catch her. This is the first time that he's not been able to kill her.
Fully, yeah.
Yeah.
They find just a mess in the apartment, and Mulder sees someone running down the street, so he leaves in pursuit. They find Ellen, and she's got all this goo on her face, which I think is implied scars her, or later on.
I don't know, it's just all over her face, isn't it? But, like, they rip it off her mouth and she can still breathe, so, like, it's not quite suffocated her.
Yeah. Mulder catches up with the guy he was chasing, and it's not Encanto, it's a guy with a spray paint can who was probably just doing some light-hearted graffiti.
Yeah, yeah. Arrest him.
Little did he know he's probably... Well, he nearly got someone killed.
Yeah.
Encanto had not left the flat.
No.
He was behind the shower curtain. That scariest of places.
Yeah. Either that or under the bed.
Yeah. Talking of under the bed stuff, that sounds like a weird transition. You've watched Luther, haven't you?
I have.
How scary is the one where the guy just slides out from under the
It's
bed?
awful.
That's like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some bits on like Luther, like it's scary because you think, oh, imagine if that. But the one where he just slides out from under the bed, it's like
It is really terrifying.
Luther has a way of doing that. He's making normal things. I'm just remembering there's one where he's like, she's on the buzz,
Yeah,
and
the
then
guy
he just
on the
like
bus.
pops
That's in the
up.
later season, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he just like pops up from the buzz
Yeah.
seat, and you're like, like that. Yeah.
There was a lot of copycats with that as well, wasn't there?
Was
In
that?
London, yeah. People
God.
bought that similar mask with, it was all like the hood was lit up.
Yeah.
And people started riding the buses around London, yeah.
I mean, you're asking to have your head punched in.
I know,
if you did
yeah, that's the
if
thing,
if
isn't
you
it?
snuck up behind, like, I'm not being like, oh, tough guy there. But if you caught me off guard and I'd just watched Luther, I'd just go, sweet. You know what I mean? Oh. So yeah, he was behind the shower curtain, and he's looking to goo her. With this being Scully, she manages to stab him in the neck, and as they're struggling and he's lunging back towards Scully, we hear a gunshot, and it's Ellen. She's managed to get Scully's gun on the floor and finish him off. Well, not finish him off.
No,
take him out.
Yeah, exactly. Stopped him from being a threat.
And then
Neutralised him.
She neutralised him. Yeah. We're at the last scene, and we see Encanto's now being questioned, and he just looks in an absolute state.
Yeah, so we assume this is what happens when he doesn't eat fat.
Yeah, basically.
His own skin sort of flares up, and he's got like the
flakes. And,
yeah. It looks like he's suffers from a skin condition.
Basically, yeah. I mean, they do mention he's sort of like a fat-sucking vampire, and I guess it's sort of that kind of thing, I guess.
His body's not got the nutrients, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. He says that he was feeding on their hunger, and he basically got something for what he gave them in return was basically like sort of, again, sort of giving him some warped morality to what he was doing.
I gave them a nice night.
Yeah.
Because I think what he's implying is I gave them love and affection, and they gave me their life. Like what, you gave them love and affection for 3 hours. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's how he's justifying it in his own head.
And then we finish on a quote from Virgil in Canto.
I morte non sono più soli. The dead are no longer lonely.
So yeah, bit of Italian and a bit of foreboding quotation, I guess.
They never leave. Very rarely do they kill a character like this off. They'll always just leave him somewhere in a cell. So with the maybe he'll come back type of deal.
I think they always.
I don't think he will, but they leave it open all the time.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where it's better to leave it open because the story is finished.
Yeah,
but if they ever think we could do with another episode or that,
it leaves that option.
If fans loved it, we can bring him back. Yeah, that's It's one of the things with Tombs now being
exactly.
But anyway,
did get to have that sequel because they did that in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, that's the end of the episode. What do you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. You know what? Actually, now talking it through with yourself actually made me enjoy it a little bit more. I thought it wasn't superb, it wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it was a decent enough monster of the week. Like you said, Tombs light is the way I saw it. But like looking back on it now, I actually thought it was a little bit more fun than I gave it credit for at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only other thing that I constantly noticed throughout is what we've spoke about, which is the really cheesy internet danger safety video. Yeah. That's what it felt like to me, and it did feel like it suffered because of the age of the program.
Yeah. Much the same, really. I thought it was like a cool monster story, but sort of like Tombs and a bit like Irresistible, I suppose, as well. But yeah, it wasn't as strong, but it was still pretty good. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Luke's production notes.
Too Shy was written by Jeff Flaming, who had previously worked for the series Weird Science. I've never heard of that series.
No, me neither. I'm sure it's an interesting fact if we knew about it though.
Yeah, I mean, if it's an important TV show and we're missing out on something, let us know.
Yeah.
The fact that neither of us have ever heard of it.
It might be like an American TV show.
Maybe. But then again, you tend to hear of a lot of American TV shows, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I suppose. Not TV shows like that though. Like, I'm guaranteeing like, what was our like science program? What was this?
Maybe it's not about that. Maybe it's because Weird Science was a film, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
There was like a film called Weird Science.
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, and then maybe it was a TV show. I'm not sure. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
No, I'm just trying to think now. Actually, now I've heard of the film. Maybe it is. Oh, who cares?
Yeah.
It's not the Weird Science podcast. Flaming's only other writing credit for the series was the later third season episode Hell Money.
Okay.
Interested in that one.
Yeah.
He had initially pitched the idea of a mutant who fed on body oils, which was eventually changed to body fats. The presentation of the character Virgil Incanto also went through several permeations, initially conceived as a creepy Phantom of the Opera-like recluse, and as a butcher who would be able to cut the fat from his victims before the final, fairly normal-looking version was decided upon.
I like the butcher idea.
The butcher idea, it sounds very horror story.
Yeah, it'd be difficult to do for a TV show. We're going to do, like, have them hack up bodies, you know what I mean?
He'd either be like Leatherface or like, what's he called now? What was the football player who got into acting? Vinnie Jones. Have you ever watched Midnight Meat Train?
Yes, yeah.
Kind of like that, just like this stoic, but that's what I would imagine. That's a good film, that is. Like, really underrated.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. Recommendation for the week: The Midnight Meat Train.
Yeah, it is good.
Director David Nutter made sure that the episode contained several visceral moments after the popularity of the Flute Man character in the early episode, The Host. I'm guessing there's all the goo and melting and
yeah, it
stuff
makes
like
sense, doesn't it? I suppose these are the same, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's trusted people, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Frank Spotnitz.
Yeah.
That was correct this time.
Good job.
Yeah. One down. The series story editor was initially wary of the concept, as he felt it might be seen as offensive, but changed his mind when series creator Chris Carter convinced him the episode told a good story and was a fun, old-fashioned sort of X-File. I wonder what part would considered offensive.
I'd imagine the quote overweight unquote.
Maybe women. Yeah, or even just like the woman killing aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Maybe, but they've done that before, haven't they?
I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah. Who knows what's offensive in 1995?
Yeah.
Very different world. The episode was primarily filmed in Vancouver's Quebec Street, with 2 nearby apartment buildings used for interior shots. Too Shy marked the debut of Steve Kiziak.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced.
I hope so.
Yeah. As Duchovny's...
Hashtag Roman wrong.
No! That is not my name! As Duchovny's new body double.
Okay.
So, yeah. This was right after the one guy. He's moved up in all. That's why he's got starring roles now.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
The magnificent
I'm
Yappy.
trying to think what he would have been needed for. Oh, the jumping out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did have like that scene stood out to me as well, like him like scaling buildings and jumping off into the streets.
So there's also another story here which is quite good about the body double.
Did he break his ankle in the first shoot?
No, but a good guess. Whilst filming a scene in which Mulder bursts through a door, Kiziak and the other body doubles mistakenly burst through the wrong apartment door, interrupting the tenants' dinner party.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine? You're standing there having a dinner party and two fake FBI agents just burst in.
Brilliant. Love it.
Kerry Sandomirsky, who portrays Ellen Kaminsky's friend, Joanne, had previously appeared in the first season episode, Roland. Was she the carer?
I don't remember, to be honest.
I think she was, yeah. I think
Was
she was
she?
the
I
carer,
don't
like
remember
Roland's
at all.
carer, wasn't she?
No, I don't remember.
Encanto's landlord was played by Glynis Davis, who had appeared in season 1's Tombs and second season's episode Irresistible. She didn't have much luck, did she?
No, yeah.
All the monsters attacking her. So yeah, I wonder who she played in those then. I don't recognise her.
It'd probably just be like a background extra, won't it?
Yeah.
That's the way they usually work.
Usually,
They don't really give them they won't give them like 2 starring roles.
Anyway, that's my notes for this week.
Nicely done.
So yeah, that's all we have for this week. If you want to get in contact with the show, give us a tweet, give us a Facebook, give us an email, give us
Not
a
an email. Be very careful if you're sending your emails.
Well, why is that? Oh,
Internet's a dangerous place.
it is actually, yeah.
Very dangerous.
Maybe. Oh, I wouldn't download this show. You never know. You never know. It could be wrong.
Could be wrong.
Could be wrong.
You don't know. I mean,
But if it is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Oh yeah, good one, Rome.
Okay, we've had our fun. Let's never use that word again. Anyway, next week we will be covering an episode entitled "The Walk."
The Walk. Okay.
So I'm going to assume that this is about the man who walked across the trade buildings. That was also The Walk, wasn't it? Where he tightrope walked between the 2 trade centre buildings.
Oh, was there a film about that?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
documentary, wasn't
there was a documentary and then a film based on the documentary.
Oh, okay. Yeah, could be. I'm going to guess it's about a rambler.
A rambler.
Yeah, maybe like he's out on like sort of scenic trails and he kills people.
Okay.
And then he yeah, that's what he's one with nature. Oh, he's a wolf man.
Okay.
I'm gonna say he's a wolf
Oh,
man.
and he's like a dog go on a walk, like.
Well, no. He kills people when they're on walks.
Oh, right, okay. See, it's quite funny because you're describing this as I have the picture with a slight blurb underneath telling me basically what the episode's about.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I don't wanna know.
Surprised.
I'll play it back to you tomorrow. Or next week, anyway. We should wrap this up. It's too hot. It's 12 o'clock.
It is hot.
I'm quite tired.
It is 12 o'clock.
I'm just going to sleep here.